Hello everyone, welcome back to another flight. Today we are in Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport, and we are going to be flying to Edinburgh. Now I am flying today for Walker Air. This is a set of liveries, whatever, I still don't know how to say it, from the Walker Air VA. Really nice. You can see got the little symbol at the back, and it looks much better in the daylight. It was actually sunset when I started preparing this flight, but it's taken more time than I had planned. But anyway, everything's loaded, so FMC sorted, the aircraft is currently on APU power, and we're basically ready to go. So I am going to get us moving along, because let's just get on with this basically. So, APU bleed is on. Let's turn the pumps on, all of them. There we go. We will switch the beacon on, and ignition start. Engine 1 coming on. So, keep an eye on this. So you can see we've got N2 increasing here. Should see some fuel flow soon. There we go. And M1 beginning to increase. Engine temperature increasing. PSI. Yeah, good. So we'll wait until that has stabilized. And then of course we'll move on to the second engine. And we can get going. So as for takeoff, we're going to be taking off at 153 knots. We're taking off from the S6 entry point on runway 24. Then we will be following the Berg 1 Sierra SID. We've got a route that basically takes us north. Then we will use the Edinburgh 2 Echo Star, and we're expecting to arrive ILS on runway 24. So it should all be nice and simple. Engine 1 has stabilized, so engine 2 now. Something I need to obviously check as I've been pausing the game is what's the weather like. Still 10-13. Wind is apparently 250 at 13 knots. Visibility greater than 10 nautical miles. Clouds few at 2,800 feet. Temperature 6, dew point 1. So I think it would be prudent for us to take off with the anti-ice on. But anyway, we are now ready to go, almost. There we go, engine 2 is now on. So, we're going to put the wing lights on, because it's nice outside. Put the runway turn-off lights on. And the seatbelt sign's already on. We will put the anti-ice on, as I said. Now turn the APU bleed off. And the APU master switch as well. So, we are ready to go. We are not going to be pushing back today because we can basically just turn left directly out of here, which is what we're going to do. So I've got the throttles all the way up for some reason. Let's put the parking brakes on, get the chocks removed, should have done those already really, and then we can take the parking brakes off. There we go. It should start to creep forward. I've installed a nice plug-in. I think it's here actually, you can see it. X-Tote brake. So what I've done is I've assigned my rudder pedals, assigned my steering wheel pedals as rudder pedals, which is hopefully still working. Possibly not. So a quick check of the flight control system. If not, I'll go and get that sorted very quickly. Nope, that's not working. Right, I'll go and get that sorted quickly. Okay, so I've got it sorted now, finally. Now, from here, we're going to take taxiway Alpha all the way out. Unfortunately, I'm not getting full travel. That's the only problem. I did last time. For some reason, this time I just can't get full travel all the way on the rudder. You can see here, I'm not getting the full amount of movement that I should do, which is a little bit weird. Anyway, I need to set pitch trim so I can do that while we're taxiing. So it needs to be 0.7 down. There we go. Perfect. I can close that now, we don't need that anymore. Right, we are just going to continue taxiing for now. So, auto brakes to maximum for the RTO. Cabin, I need to do the cabin check. So that is here. There we go. What else do I need to do? I need to arm the spoilers. Okay, spoilers armed. Flaps. I believe I set flaps 2. I'm pretty sure I did. So we'll just wait for that. Taxi lights. I did put them on, didn't I? Yes, I did. Thought so. So this is going to be a nice, smooth, easy flight. Nothing too taxing. Gives me a chance to play around in the 320 again. I do need to switch these dome lights off, don't I? Yes. And we are going to take entrance S6, which is not here yet. We're looking for A6. So S6 is just by here, we can see it coming up. Now that was a little bit of a bizarre turn, to be honest. So we'll enter from here. I think I'll have to do some fiddling around with my yaw. Let's see if I can get this better, because this is definitely not enough, to be honest. Nowhere near. This is terrible. Now interestingly, that says S5 by there. I guess means that over there is S6. No, that's S7. S6 is here, okay. Well, we can use S5 anyway. I need to put a little bit more throttle on to get us over this grass, because I've managed to park us on some grass. There we go. Get ourselves moving. Not particularly realistic, of course, that we'd get stuck on the grass. Normally you would make sure that you never turned into the grass. But there we go. That's me not being very good at this. Honestly, I think I had more trouble last time. I don't know why I've seemed to have lost so much of the rudder control. Right, so now that we're coming up to here, we will put the landing lights on, runway turn lights off, strobe lights on, taxi lights to take off. Position ourselves nicely on the runway. Again, you can see there's just not the full amount of travel. I don't get it. I don't know why. Could be that I have to modify something. In fact, you know what? Let's just stop for a second. Just pause the sim, and I'm going to go back to putting a control. Right. Hopefully that should work now. Yeah, see, now I get full rudder movement. So I'll have to play around with this. Let's get back to the status page for takeoff. There we go. And we've got plenty of runway distance here. We are lined up fairly well, so let's go. There we go. Quite heavy today, but it should still be okay. So we're looking for 153, which is now. So rotate. Nice smooth rotate. There we go. So positive rate, gear up. Put the autopilot on. And we can bring the flaps up. Thrust reduction altitude is 3,400. So we don't have there we go. No, it's not. Sorry, that was something else. Ignore that. That was me talking rubbish. There we go. So climb thrust achieved. Let's get this back up. Oh, whoops, I forgot to check that. So I actually completely forgot to put the transponder on. Uh-oh, it was a bit of a rookie mistake, to be honest. Shouldn't have made that mistake at all. Right. Standard and standard. Perfect. We're climbing straight to our cruise altitude. There's no need for us to be climbing any to any particular waypoint. There's no constraints that we need to worry about on here, so we're not going to. There we go. Look at that. Oh. Amsterdam Airport. Such a lovely place. Anyway, it's all looking okay at the moment. There's nothing we need to be concerned about. This constraint here is a plus 2,500 feet, so really not worried about that at all, because we're already greater. Climbing nicely as well, but I'm not going to turn off the passenger signs just yet. Instead I'll wait until we're at 10,000, I think. However, we do seem to be a little bit fast, so I'm just going to bring us back down to 240 just for now. Because 250 is our speed, so in fact I'll put 245. The winds today are not bad. Storm Chiara, as the UK called it. I don't know what they called it in Europe actually, I don't remember. Storm Chiara has been causing a bit of a nightmare for people in the UK. But the winds are not too bad here today. Only 34 knots. I did have a tailwind of 125 over the weekend when I was flying, which is quite a heavy tailwind, to be honest. It cut my journey by about a third from Bristol to Amsterdam. Right, so 10,000 feet, landing lights off, and we will turn off the seatbelt lights. I think There doesn't seem to be any cloud on the way, but we'll have a quick check down here. I turn on the weather radar. Excuse me, there we go. Weather radar. I'm not quite sure what it was scanning there. Now, we are on an angle of 10, so let's get a tilt of about 10. And we change the zoom a bit as well, the range. Yeah, let's get that up to an 80. It looks like there's currently no weather at all. So I think we can turn off the anti-ice. We're not expecting to go through any clouds that are going to cause us problems. And yeah, everything is looking good. So, continue the climb. Obviously, as it's dark, I'm not going to be able to show you much. But once we're coming into the UK again, I'll come back and we can continue with the final section of the cruise and the descent. So, see you in a moment. Okay, so we are coming up to waypoint Nateb. And what that means is we are just going over Sunderland at the moment. So, oh look at that, we're banking just at the right time. I'll show you a wing view. So we're going over Sunderland and Newcastle at the moment. We are about to enter Scottish airspace. In fact, we've just passed into Scottish airspace. There's not much to see at the moment. We're still at 36,000 feet, and if I show you, top of descent is by here, which is not for quite a while. We've got another 20 minutes until top of descent. Because we have a headwind, I have put the aircraft onto manual speed control. We were at 0.78 for the automatic calculation. I've dialed it up to 0.8. I also noticed that I had forgotten to change the sound output device. Usually I record with headphones on so that I can listen to the sound and it doesn't interrupt with the microphone, but I am doing it with the speakers this time and I forgot to change OBS, so I'm sorry there was no sound for that first part of the flight. But anyway, we have still got quite a while left. So what I'll do is, instead of boring you, I will wait until we are a little bit closer to our top of descent, and then we will get cracking with that. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we're now a lot closer to our descent point, and you won't be able to see it at the moment. Maybe out of the wing we can. No? Okay, let's go to the outside view. So just down there on our left you can see Edinburgh Airport. So this is the great city of Edinburgh right here. Beautiful place. We don't need to start our descent just yet, but we need to get it set up for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there for now, set this to 3000, which is our ILS height. I need to dial this one down for this guy. He should be on 20. There we go. What else do we need to do? I've set up some VORs, you can see them here, and I have also set up some ADFs as well. But of course the ADFs are not completely necessary. What else do we need to do before we actually start trying to land? Oh, what a nice view. I need to check the approach. That would be very, very useful, I think. So, if I go into the weather, this is one of these things you never see the weather, I know. So altimeter is 1005. Let's get this all programmed in. So approach phase 1005. winds 240 at 13 now. So I obviously put some of these in earlier just to try and prepare. Temperature 2 degrees with a dew point of 0. Okay. Transition altitude is 6,000. That is correct. Visibility is apparently 10 plus miles, and no rain or clouds reported in the area. That's good. Decision height is 50. That's taken from the ILS runway 24 right. I've taken that from there directly. So, top of descent is our next point. You can see it all the way down here. However, we are going to push it a little bit early, but not just yet. So, what I'll do is... Oh look, there's some more airports over there. What could they be? EGPN and EGQL. EGPN? I don't know what that is. I'm just trying to look on the map. EGPN and EGQL. EGQL, okay, that is apparently Lucas, I don't know how to say that to be honest, and Dundee. So Dundee is EGPN. Nice. Always good to learn something new. Every day is a school day. Anyway, that's not where we're heading. We are, of course, heading back around here. So we've got approximately 1901. We're currently at 1853. So we've got... it's annoying. So we've got about 8 minutes until we start descending. Like I said, I'm going to push it early because I would rather not be rushing down to the runway. So I'm not going to push it just yet though. So what I'll do, I'll try and find a nice view. Leave these screens up. There we go. So that's Dundee over there. Our runway is somewhere over there. I think it's here. I think that's Edinburgh airport there. Can't make it out very well in the dark though. So although you can't see the plane, you can see this little map, and you can see the skyline. And I will just, I'll just time lapse for a minute. Okay, I think that's enough time-lapse fun. So one thing I need to do is I need to get the speed back down to managed. So I'm just going to push that back. There we go. Because what we need to do is get down to a sensible speed, and we need the aircraft to start managing as well, so that when we start descending in a moment, we're not going over speed because I've stupidly forgotten to change it. So we leave it in managed mode, and as soon as we're down at our target, which we're almost there, we will begin our descent. So Edinburgh is somewhere over there now. Can't see it just yet. I could, in fact, put the ILS. So in fact, what I'll do, I'll put the ADF. Because the ADF is for Edinburgh. So that should show us exactly which direction we need to be going in to get to Edinburgh Airport. Right. Get back to OBS for a moment. Okay, now that the speed is down, let's begin our descent. Perfect. So it's reckoning that we're going to be able to do this pretty quickly, so we're going to have to keep an eye on it, because if it looks like we are way too far away from the 3,000 mark when we're coming into the airport, then we're going to have to do a go around. To be honest, if we're miles off the mark, it won't even be a go around, it will just be get the hell down quickly, turn around and do things again. But we'll see. We've now got our little blue marker, so that shows at which point we should be catching up with ourselves. Back with the profile, so I can show you the profile in here. If we go to the progress page, we are currently 1,000 feet and climbing, or lowering, I'm not sure, 1,000 feet and increasing below our target vertical navigation path. So Edinburgh apparently is over there. If you look on the screen here, should be off to our right somewhere, but we are 55 nautical miles from it, so that's why we can't see it at the moment. Not really. I'll close that down. We'll continue descent. Let's just have a look at the wings, see if we can see anything nice. Nope. Nothing at all interesting out there, to be perfectly honest. And it's pitch black, so we can't really see anything on the plane either. So, okay. We'll just continue down, do it as a sped up little moment. I might put some music over the top as well. I'll decide that once I've finished. So yeah, let's just continue descending towards the airport. Kind of got 43 nautical miles to get down 30,700 feet. Should be possible, but the rule of 3 says it might not be. So we might have to start playing around with vertical descent speeds in a minute. We'll see. So let's get descending. Okay, so we're now getting a little bit closer. As you probably noticed, I've also changed up the vertical descent profile a little. But now we need to start dropping speed in preparation for the 10,000 mark, so change this to 1400 feet per minute, and we should start scrubbing some speed. Good. We've got the airport out here to the left. If I move the window a little, there we go. You can see it there. You can see it nicely from here, obviously. So everything is currently on track. We should be coming in very soon. We're a little bit high, but apparently we're well below what we should be on in terms of our slope. So I don't know. Maybe we're good. But we're just gonna keep going down. I think I maybe need to get that up to maybe 1,000. We want to scrub the speed off, and I want to try and avoid using the speed brakes. What's the next waypoint? I think. Yeah, he thinks we still haven't been to Edinburgh. To EDM waypoint. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what we should do at the moment. We're way too high to attempt to land, so we can't do that. So we might just have to fly over again, in which case, if we're just going to fly over again, may as well put him back into managed descent mode. Let him work everything out for himself. Get that speed down. And once we're down at the 240 mark, we should be able to start descending again. But as you can see, the green dot is currently all the way up here. We are well below our given altitude at the moment, but we should still be okay to shoot over the airport if we need to, which I think is what the flight plan is trying to get us to do at the moment. So the airport's over there. We're going to be at 12,000 feet still, so yeah. Ah no, that's the airport, sorry. So yeah, we'll be able to overshoot still. It's not a big deal. And at EDN, it looks like we have an altitude constraint of should be at 3,000 over EDN. I guess that means we're going to circle the airport. Okay. So we're going to circle the airport once more by the looks of it. This is just because he didn't get close enough when he did the circling just now. So he seemed to think that we needed to actually do a second go to be able to meet it. Not quite sure about that. I also haven't yet put the seatbelt signs on because we just don't need them at the moment. No need. But this time hopefully we'll be able to hit EDN without any major issues. It's very difficult to see it there though, isn't it? If I put him onto 10, can we see it better maybe? Not yet, we can't. Maybe in a moment when we're a bit closer. And apparently we should be back on descent path around about here. So the green dot should start moving down, which means we'll probably start descending a little bit quicker after that. Currently estimated to arrive 1940, which is 24 minutes time, which isn't bad. Not bad at all, really. It means our flight would have taken a bit longer than expected, I think. I'm not sure how much longer than expected, to be perfectly honest. So for anyone who's interested in this aircraft, I would recommend it, but it is a frame killer. I mean, seriously, it's a real frame killer. I do have some custom meshes and things like that, but this is by far the biggest influence, the Flightfactor aircraft. The other aircraft aren't the same. The Towless is really good for frames, but this guy is just not, and I don't know why. Because the other Flightfactor aircraft are quite good actually. There's no real issue with them. We seem to have a 210 waypoint there, so we're going to knock that down. Should be able to get that speed down by there, I think. EDN is in 7 nautical miles. I think we can drop down to 210 by then. And I'm really, really hoping this will be our last attempt round. And then after this, we can go back and actually land once. If not, I might have to take over and tell him to go direct to CI-24. But we'll see how it goes this time. And I thought we were going to be back on the green dot here, but apparently not. And I don't know why. Thought we would be back on it. We got to our 10,000 mark though, which is good. Yeah, 10,000 mark, and we've got to the 210 knots, which is what's required for EDN. So, I'm really hoping it counts as hitting EDN this time. And as we're below 10,000, let's get these guys on. Also put the taxi lights on to takeoff mode. Not really required, but I'm going to do it anyway. And seat belts. I think now is a good time to do seat belts, because we should hopefully just be circling once and landing. That is the plan. Let's see what actually happens here. We can't keep circling over the airport forever. Okay. We're going into a slightly strange loop. More like a holding pattern than anything else, to be honest. Oh no. No, we're not. I thought we were, but we're not. We're now going back into our normal turn, I believe. Yes, we are. So I think with this transition, we're just expected to keep looping round over and over again, which is a bit ridiculous, to be perfectly honest. Let's see if we can do this at 1,000 feet. See if we can still maintain 210. If the engines drop to idle, then maybe we can, because yeah, we just need to get in this time. So once we are back on the base leg, I'll take over and I'll put it into manual heading mode, and then we can do a direct to CI-24. I think that's going to be the best option, really. Now I know there is a way of extending the centre line of the runway, but I do not remember for the life of me how to do it. I've watched a really good YouTube video about it and I cannot remember how to do it. And it's really frustrating that I can't remember. Really frustrating, to be perfectly honest. The wind, not too bad. This is live weather from Active Sky, so I assume if the weather and the wind is okay, that means Storm Kiara has done the worst of her damage. Hopefully wherever you are, you weren't too affected. I know where I live, we're still suffering a bit with the wind, but everything else is okay in general. No serious flooding or anything like that. I know there were lots of people who were hit by quite severe flooding, which doesn't help them at all. But yeah, hopefully wherever you are okay. And if, like me, you'd like to fly planes, which I guess you do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, I hope you had fun flying in the wind, which is exactly what I did when I found out there was a storm coming. I went and flew everywhere I could see had bad weather. So, Bristol to Amsterdam, which was a hairy takeoff and a really, really hairy landing. Crabbing about 20 degrees to the right on landing. Interesting stuff. But we did land safely, which is always good. Even for simulated flights. Always useful to land safely. I'm rambling, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this base leg, and then I think I will come back to you once we've got that sorted. Right, so Edinburgh Airport is over there at the moment. We are just coming down towards 3,000 feet as well. Speed is currently at 210. We are going to do two things. One, going to activate the approach phase. So that's activated. To use that properly, I need to put speed onto managed. That means we will start dropping down, but not just yet. Next thing I need to do is do a direct to. So we're going to do direct to CI24. There we go. So this is now going to start turning us straight towards CI24. We are obviously now onto our approach phase, which means I need to get the landing system going. We're going to turn the localizer on as well, because we should capture that very soon. Oh, not just yet actually. I'm going to capture it by there. In fact, didn't we activate the approach phase? We did. Why are we not descending any further? Probably because I should put some flaps out. There we go. So this will put us on a fairly tight course actually. So I think I'll just take us off to the side slightly. And we can cut back in. I think that's going to be a better way of doing this. Just so we can bring ourselves a little bit closer to the line and come in on a better angle. Because CI24 is the start of the glide slope. So I want to make sure that we come in on the right angle to pick up the localizer and the ILS, localizer and the glide slope at the right time. If we cut in a bit too close, we might have problems. But we can now. Our slats down again. So I don't think we'll start dropping speed, but we might do. Yep, we are good. So we're getting closer to the airport. We which is good. Finally going to arrive. We are a little bit behind schedule. I'll have to double check afterwards how long this flight was supposed to take, but I think we're a little bit longer than we should be now. So let's now go to flaps 3 and gear down. And once we've got our 3 greens over here, or over here even, we can go to flaps full. There we go. So that's flaps full. Perfect. So we are now configured for landing. We've told it we want the localizer whenever it can. We haven't picked that up yet, we're still blue, but that's because we are not on the right angle for that. We've got a bit of a crosswind coming in at the moment as well. But we're getting closer now to the correct point. 7.7 nautical miles, that's not decreasing at the moment. Well, it is, but very slowly by the looks of it. But as we've got that lovely crosswind, I think we can pull ourselves back in at 10 degrees. Yeah, there we go, because we're off by 6-7 degrees due to the crosswind, so that should work well. Now I know in reality lots of pilots like to try and, well, lots of companies instruct their pilots to try and come in at the perfect altitude, so you don't spend any time at low altitude burning fuel that you don't need to. However, this has not been a particularly successful approach. Next time I'll have to keep an eye on the EDN transition because it seems to cause problems. Maybe it would have been better if I'd have gone with no transition. But we've still got 2.5 tons of fuel on board, so we're absolutely fine on that respect. No problems whatsoever. And I think we are now close enough that we can go back into nav mode. I'm trying to go back into nav mode, but he doesn't want to allow me. So, okay, we'll put it to a heading of 240. See if we can pick up the localizer. We should be able to. If not, I'm going to be flying this on manual. Let me just quickly double check. 108.9 with a course of 241. That sounds correct. Yep. Strange that we can't get the localizer to the nav to connect. It just doesn't want to. Very, very odd, to be perfectly honest. Could just be that I'm bugging out a little. Is in my system. If we put the localizer and the glide slope on, we should capture both of those momentarily. I'm not sure what that little beep was about then, to be honest. Ah, there we go. So localizer should be captured. Whoa, that's a sharp turn. Localizer is captured, but we're off to the side. Glide slope. We are below the glide slope, above the glide slope at the moment, so we need to just get ourselves down a bit further. I'll use a vertical speed descent to get down. We should hopefully be able to catch up. Okay, we're not catching up, we're actually doing the opposite. So we're going to go for a bit of a steep descent profile just to try and get back onto that glide slope.
$2,500.
And once we've captured it, I think the winds are nice and calm. I might take over today. Don't do this very often at all, so I apologise if it all goes Pete Tong. We'll capture the glide slope and make sure we've got that first. So that's the glide slope captured. Perfect. Let's take off. Just gotta get him to sit back level, because we were coming in pretty hot to try and capture the glide slope. So we seem to have settled in now, which means I will just take over control. So flying it manually is actually fairly easy once you have captured the glide slope once. Let's just get the master caution worn off. Because once you captured it, you know that you're pretty much on track.
2-4.
We are currently a little bit above, but that's not a big concern. Not too worried about that.
400.
We are slightly off the centre line though.
300.
And now we are well above.
200.
There we go, this is better. It's a much better landing.
100.
So,
Minimum 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard.
oh, that was a heavy landing. And in fact, we bounced.
5.
4,000 feet remaining.
Let's put first reversers on. So that's 80 knots. Let's kill the thrust reversers. And we will roll out. Apply some brakes. Okay, there we go. Not a particularly successful landing, I'll be honest, but not that bad either.
100 remaining.
Okay, so let's get off the runway. I'll just set the parking brake for a moment. Get the spoilers back in. We can bring the flaps up as well. Don't want to move. There we go. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to get the landing lights off, strobe lights off, runway turn on lights on, put the taxi lights to taxi. We'll put the APU on as well. Just go down here and check that the APU is on. There's something odd going on here. There we go. So we've now got the message. The outer flap is open. The flap is open even. So we can start the APU. Right. Now, where do I want to taxi to? I have no idea. So I will just quickly check. So it's a long, long taxiway, by the looks of it. We will go to... Okay, we'll go to the first set. To the first runway. So let's get going. Put a little bit of thrust on because this is going to be a very long taxi otherwise. So we'll go around this way actually. Doesn't make any difference. And this is a lot easier to taxi with than the toe brakes. I don't know what's going on with them. So I'm just going to outside view quickly. Oh. We will in a moment, once I've actually managed to turn the corner. So that's now on. Let's get here. There we go. Right. I'll just get to the end very quickly. Painted that his ass.
Okay, taxiway.
So
taxiway.
This is where we will be turning. Not this turning, but the next one. So just reduce the thrust. And we can turn in at this next one. So, bit of brake applied. Look around. It's busy here today, but I think there's a space around here. Further down. As we are now on the apron, turn our taxi lights off. I'll leave them on just for now, actually. And we should be able to find a spot. I'd be surprised if we couldn't. Ah yeah, here we go. Gate number 8. So this will do nicely. So now we will turn off the taxi lights. Bit of thrust. Let's just get ourselves into a good view for this. And we'll finally be able to see this lovely Walker Air Transport livery. Yeah, we are a little bit forward, but it's not too bad. Look at that thing. Isn't it lovely? So, parking brakes on. Let's get inside and get everything sorted. So, the parking brakes are now set. Yes. How are our brakes doing? Let's have a quick check. 125, that's not bad. So, service. We'll get a ground power unit connected and some chocks, which means we can now turn the parking brake off. The APU is running, so engine's off. There we go. And we can turn the beacons off. Wing lights can come off as well. We'll leave the nav and logo lights on for now. Turn off all of these pumps, they will not be needed until later, and we can connect the external power. So, seatbelts off, emergency lights off, and we can get some doors open as well. We do have a gate here, but it won't connect, so we're just going to do it with stairs. So we'll do left forward and rear forward, and left aft even. There we go. So that is Walker Air Transport, live from EGPH, Edinburgh Airport. So, I hope you've enjoyed this flight. It took longer than expected, but yeah, I think it was good fun. And so, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon for another flight. Bye bye.